Joining us now, Fox News contributor, former CIA station chief Dan Hoffman. Dan, great to see you. Let me correct myself. What we know is we don't know where the enriched uranium is, but what we understand is there's been major destruction to the centrifuges and the enrichment facilities at particularly Natanz and Fordo. I digress. What's Putin up to, Dan?
Rhetorical brinkmanship, and I just have to tell you, I really enjoyed the president's response there, clapping back at Medvedev and putting him in his place and emphasizing, Putin is the boss. I'll tell you, my older son was looking at that. He said, that's like the president saying, "Slow your roll, Dima." It was a great way to emphasize the seriousness of nuclear weapons. That's a massive violation of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. But the president, the way he responded was precisely the right tone. And it's really humiliating for Russia to be out of the Middle East. Vladimir Putin used to like to say that the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the last century. The hallmark of the Soviet Union was its influence in the Middle East. Putin went back to the Middle East. The first time Russia deployed their military assets outside of country was to Syria in 2015 to prop up Assad. And now Russia has no influence whatsoever. Their strategic partnership with Iran, just signed this year, doesn't really amount to a whole lot. And the president's right. Let's focus on Russia's barbaric invasion of Ukraine. That was a wonderful way to sum it up.
Dan, a few things about that post from Medvedev that he put out publicly. He admitted, sort of an admission against interest, that actually the Iran nuclear program was for weapons. He's like, well, we can just say that openly now, which would be a smackdown of some of the denialists who keep trying to pretend that this was all peaceful. Obviously, it's not. So he admitted that. But he did at least hint at the possibility of someone giving nukes, providing nuclear weapons to the Iranian regime in the future. You said it's brinksmanship. Is it also a bluff? Because what regime, what government, Russia, China, anyone, who wants the mullahs to have nukes ultimately at the end of the day? Anyone that has them?
Right. Well, look, Russia and Iran are actually long-term strategic competitors. And Russia's been very wary of providing Iran the material that Iran wants. Iran had a long list of military equipment, fighter aircraft, and other things that they've asked Russia to provide, and the Russians haven't done that. The Russians did build their nuclear power plant for civilian use at Bushehr, but the Russians have been pretty wary about any further assistance to Iran. And look, we saw what the Israelis did to Russian air defense. That didn't work out too well for
right.
the Iranians either. This is demonstrating that the best way to break up this axis of dictatorships is to win, which is what the president is doing. Now, I am concerned about North Korea. They were the ones that helped build the nuclear power plant in Syria that Israel destroyed in 2007. And they've assisted Iran with ballistic missiles. So you've always got to be worried about the little rocket man and what he might be up to. But I think what Medvedev was doing was, again, just the same sort of rhetorical brinkmanship we have from Vladimir Putin. That's about all they've got left are these words. Not to say they can't be a thorn in our side, but this isn't a good look for them.
I worry about what Putin and Russia might do to drive up the price of oil. We didn't see the Strait of Hormuz be closed by Iran because that would piss off China and cut off its flow of oil to its greatest customer. But, you drive up the price of oil and keep it flowing, that benefits Russia and Iran. Dan Hoffman, good to see you.
You too, as always.